Good afternoon and welcome to the Chuck Fruit Aquatic Center here for the Parkway Long Course Classic, day number 1. This is session number 2. This will be the 13 and over, boys and girls, as we get set here for one of the early season long course meets. My name is Matt Judkins. I'm going to bring you this afternoon's action right here on the Parkway YouTube channel. We want to remind everybody now that's out there watching us and joining us here today, like, share, and subscribe. We want to make sure we keep this channel rolling here. Got a lot of things on tap for you here this afternoon. We're going to start things off with the 200 free, followed by the 100 breaststroke, then the 100 back, 50 free, and we'll round things out with a very tough 200 butterfly. That's how things are going to go here this afternoon throughout the meet. As we are just about set to go here in just a few moments, officials are taking their places around the pool deck. And we should be ready to rock here in just a few moments. Had a great session earlier this morning into the early afternoon with the 12 and under crowd and number of double A's and single A times. Some kids getting their first ever chance to swim in a long course pool. And now, of course, here we are getting ready for the 13 and overs. And we'll get into all of the action here in just a moment as we get set to go. A couple of logistics things to round out for you. We're going to work with one stationary camera. That's the angle you have right now. Limited production crew here this weekend. And races will start from both ends of the pool. We will do what's called a chase start. For those not familiar with long course and experienced with a lot of different long course meets, that means a race will start at one end of the pool. As the swimmers go back to that start-finish line or start-finish end of the pool, when they're more than halfway back, they will start the race on the opposite side. All the odd number heats will start to the left side of your screen. All the even numbered heats will start to the right side of your screen. Logistically, lane number 1 is at the bottom of your screen, lane number 6 at the top of your screen. The top 2 lanes on your screen are vacated. Those are there for warm-ups and warm-downs as per rules to hold an official event. And we are just about set to go here in this one, folks. Our first event will be the ladies' 200 meter freestyle. 4 swimmers in this one, starting off in lane number 2 with Cece Tremont from Parkway, a 13-year-old. Anisha Ramani, she's from Parkway, a 14-year-old in lane 3. Sophie Cole is from Parkway, a 14-year-old in lane number 4. And Eleanor Disper in lane number 5, the 16-year-old from Parkway. As we are underway here in this one, this will be 4 lengths of the pool, down and back, or 2 full laps, if you will. These first 2 heats, the competitors have no previously established long course time, and as we talked about this morning, a lot of these youngsters have not swam a long course meet in more than 2 years. The entire long course season in 2020 was canceled as the COVID pandemic started to hit right as long course was getting underway. Now, some of the swimmers have swam over the last couple of weekends. Some of them swam at the sectionals. Some of them swam at the ISCA meet a couple of weeks ago. All those had long course events in them. But for a lot of these youngsters, no long course for over a year. So this should be exciting for them. You're going to see a lot of times that drop significantly because of that distance between their last events. First 2 to the wall here in this one. Lane number 5 at 1:12.42 was Disper with Tremont second. And Ramani and Cole now touching the wall and going back the other way. One other anomaly we have here for this swim meet is the scoreboard across from where we're at. And you can see that in the top side of your camera angle, almost in the middle of your screen. That is only registering times for the events that start on the left side of the screen. Those are the odd numbered events, except for when we get to the 50 free. All of those events will start on the right side, finish on the left, and those will all be recorded on the scoreboard. Now, you say, well, what about Meet Mobile? There are some issues connecting the computer system today into the network here at the Chuck Fruit Aquatic Center, and then thus uploading those times to Meet Mobile. So they will not come out immediately. If we get times, we will pass them along. But we were unable to print them earlier this morning as well. So You're going to kind of use your naked eye. I'll do the best I can to describe this for you. As we come down here at the end of this first heat, about 2 body lengths ahead, up there in lane number 5 is Eleanor Disper, the 16-year-old from Parkway, looking to go under 2.5 minutes if she can. She's at 2:27 inside the flag. And Eleanor will be first in the heat at 2:32.38. Nice job from her. She'll be followed by Tremont, and rounding things out will be Cole and Harabani. Now we're going to start a heat on the right side. This is an even-numbered heat. We have 5 competitors in this one. No one in lane at number 1, but it's Gabby Gastrick in lane number 2, Kate Morgan in lane number 3. They're both 13 years old. Anna Hebner in lane number 4. It's Leela Bledsoe in lane number 5, and Mia Muckerman in lane number 6. Muckerman out early here in this one. She can go low, the 16-year-old from Parkway. Looking to go probably under 220 if she can. That is not out of the realm of possibility for Mia, definitely. And she's quickly into the wall early. Again, we don't have the times on this one, but if you're out there and you're at home and your swimmer is starting in one of those even-numbered heats from the right side of your screen, well, I advise you, see what you can do. Maybe start your own timer. That'll give you a good idea. All times will be official. This is an official meet. They just are not registering on the scoreboard right now, and so that's the big difference from what we have here and what you'll see, and what I can actually bring to you on these airwaves. But nonetheless, Mia well out ahead of everybody else here in this one again. Would not be out of the realm of possibility for this talented youngster to go under 220 in this 200. We've seen Mia over the years compete in zones, sectionals, top swimmer for the Parkway Club, and a lot of these other youngsters now, just 13 and 14-year-olds, Gastrick, Morgan, and Bledsoe 13, Hebner 14. So why would you say are those youngsters in this meet with a 16-year-old, or in this heat? Well, Mia does not have a previously established time here yet in this one, or one that would have carried over. So she is getting that established long course time right now. She is really, really swimming smooth and well. In fact, all these youngsters doing quite well nonetheless. Middle of the pool, lanes 3 and 4. That's Morgan and Hebner. And then they'll be followed by Bledsoe and then Gastrick. So Mia will be the first one into the wall here. She'll touch as the other swimmers now competing back at the other end of the pool. Now, again, we have these chase starts. So once these swimmers get just a little bit beyond the halfway point in the pool, we'll start the next heat. In that next heat, we'll bring you those swimmers here in just a moment. Looks like there are 6 up ready for the blocks. It'll be Agent Inman in lane number 1, Sammy Sylvester in lane number 2, Athena DeKinder in 3, Emma Eisworth in 4, Razel Mendoza in lane number 5, and Cecilia Hoganson in lane number 6. Coming down to the wall now, it'll be lane number 4 on this end. It'll be Hebner, followed in lane number 3 by Morgan, then Bledsoe, and then Gastrick. That's how we round out that one. Back up on the clock now for this next heat. As we watch these youngsters compete here just in this one very briefly. A little bit ahead of everybody else, lanes number 2 and 6. That's Sylvester and Hoganson. Best established time coming in this one was Athena DeKinder at 3:03.55. She's in lane number 3. Eisworth at 3:06.37. She's in lane number 4. So Eisworth, Sylvester, and Hoganson, 13 years old. 14 are Inman and DeKinder, and then Mendoza in lane number 5. She is the 17-year-old here in this one. Lane number 2 now, taking a little bit of a lead. That's Sylvester. As they get to the halfway point. Closely in behind her, Hoganson and Eisworth. Then Inman DeKinder, and Mendoza. Just as we've had with many of the meets over the last 9 months, COVID protocols in place. Swimmers are wearing their masks down on the pool deck. Coaches are as well, as are the officials. They've got protocols on when to move in and out of their respective positions. So we'll see how that all works out here over the course of time. Now, coming back down the other way, Sylvester continues to lead. You see her just come off the wall there to the right side of your screen as they come close to the middle of the pool. It's Sylvester, followed by Eisworth, then Hoganson. They're 1, 2, and 3 in lanes 2, 4, and 6. Again, previously best established time was 3:06.37 by Eisworth. She's going to shatter that. All these young ladies are going to be well ahead of their previous time. As they come in, there it is. 2:34.96, followed by Eisworth at 2:36.63 and 2:39.24. So good times for all of those young ladies. Now here we go with the next heat. No one's in lane number 1, so it'll be lane number 2. Adele Honold, Jasmine Ankrum in lane number 3. They're Saluki swimmers, 15 and 13 respectively. Ava Assinger is in lane number 4. Mia Crandall's in 5, and Ava Stitch is in lane number 6. All Parkway swimmers. Ava's 16. Ava Assinger is 16. Mia and Ava Stick are 13 each. Previous best time in this one, Ankrum in lane number 3 at 2:44.04. Folks, you can hit me up on Twitter, Matt on the mic 1. That is my Twitter handle. Hit me up. Let me know you're out there listening. Send us a shout out to one of the swimmers as well. Tell us who you want to cheer for. Like, share, subscribe. We want you to do that here along this Parkway network as well. There will be 7 heats here of this 200 for these young ladies. Early out here in this one is Jasmine Ankrum. She's from Saluki, 13 years old. Again, 2:44.04 in that 200 meter freestyle. That's a pretty good time for her. Of course, a lot of these young swimmers, they're trying to get A cuts, triple A cuts still for those 13 and 14-year-olds to get into that zones team. Some of them trying to get their established sectional cuts. We've seen that happen over the course of the last several weeks as we started off the long course season. So we'll try and keep you abreast of where some of those achievements are at, and we've got a special one for you later as we get into the boys 50-meter free. Somebody going for a club record as well. We'll talk about that as that one comes up later today. We've got a birthday to talk about. All kinds of excitement here in this afternoon from this Parkway Long Course Classic. Now coming down to the wall. Good time here. Again, we don't have it established up on the scoreboard, unfortunately, but first one into the wall here on this one will be Ankrum. Followed in behind in lane 4 by Assinger. Then lane number 2, it's Honold, then Crandall and Stick. Now here we go with our next one. It's from the left side of your screen. Starting off right now, lane number 1 is Audrey Wagner. Lane 2 is Reagan Freeze. Sophie Wallace is in 3. Vienna Schindler is in 4. Jenna Ridings in lane number 5. And her sister Lucy Ridings in lane number 6. Actually, Lucy not here today, so 6 is vacant. That would have been fun to watch. Give a shout out to the Ridings parents. Of course, girls swimming for Parkway for quite a while, and they always make it a point to give us a nice message or two. We hope they're out there watching and listening this weekend. Saw Reagan Freeze and her mother is here timing this afternoon, doing the Parkway Volunteer positioning that is needed for these meets. We want to thank all the officials for coming out, as they usually do. We can't do these meets without them. And, of course, we can't do these meets without the volunteers that come out and do the timekeeping. So all that very important, folks, to make sure these meets are underway. Lane number 3, it's Sophie Wallace. Sophie Wallace, of course, she's a 15-year-old for Parkway. A couple of 13-year-olds in this one are Schindler and Ridings in 4 and 5, and the 14-year-olds Audrey Wagner and Reagan Fries in lanes number 1 and 2, respectively. So by age group, if you thought, well, if the age groups are fastest, that's how it would swim. Wallace is in first place in this heat. In the middle of the pool there, lane number 3, she's the 15-year-old, and the two 14-year-olds right next to each other in lanes 1 and 2, Wagner and Fries. And then Schindler and Ridings, top of your screen, the 13-year-olds. As Wallace will come back and head towards the home stretch here, the last 50 meters here in this particular heat. Again, light on the line for some of these youngsters. Again, trying to get those double A's and triple A's and those long course times. Triple A for the 13-year-old girls in this 200 free would be 2:16.89. No one's going to get that one here in this one, but they could still get some great times. So it will be Wallace. Looks like it'll be Fries right in behind her, then Wagner. Rounding things out will be Jenna Ridings, and then Vienna Schindler. So nice job for those young ladies. Now let's go back down to the right side of the pool. Coming from right to left, we've got all 6 swimmers in here. It's Lacey Edwards in lane number 1. She's a 13-year-old from Saluki. Addie Ledbrook in lane number 2 from Parkway. Maddie Lang from Parkway as well. The 14-year-olds in lane 3. Mara Collins and Avery Smith, the 17-year-olds respectively in lanes 4 and 5 from Parkway. And then Ellie Bailey, the 18-year-old from Parkway in lane number 6. All swimmers pretty even right now as they come off the wall. First one off the wall, Avery Smith. We've watched her times drop considerably here over the last year or so, and she competes also for St. Joseph's Academy, and they placed in the top 4 in state girls meet short course just about 2 months ago. So great job for her and her teammates, and right now she is slightly ahead here in this 200-meter long course freestyle. We'll give a shout out to her parents as well, Becky and Brent Smith, and then of course her 2 younger brothers who played soccer and baseball with my son, and we coached them a couple of years, Brady and Carson. Hello to all the Smiths, and of course they've supported this Parkway program for a long time. There's Avery right now, about not quite a full body length ahead of her next nearest competitor. So Smith is in lane 5. Down in lane number 2, it's Ledbrook. All quality swimmers here across the board in this one. Again, we won't get to an established time for this because the heats that start on the right side of the pool, except the 50s, do not get posted on the scoreboard. So when you start to get into that 15 and over range, what are you looking for? You're looking for sectional cuts. You're looking to continue to drop time from your previous best. Those are the goals for these young ladies and young men as they are here today. Quite a battle, though, for second place right there in the middle. It looks like Smith, as we've got about a half a pool left, she is going to take this particular heat, but right in there in second place, we've got 3 swimmers in lanes 2, 3, and 4. That's Ledbrook, Lang, and Collins. So Smith will take the heat. Next one in, second one into the wall, right next to Avery Smith will be Collins, followed by Ledbrook, then Lang, then Bailey and Edwards. That's how we round things out in that one. Now, final heat here of this 200 for the girls. No one in lane number 4, so we'll start things off. Lane number 1 and lane number 2, it's Elizabeth Green and Libby Seitz, a pair of 17-year-olds from Parkway. Lane number 3 is Brooke Shattuck. She is a 15-year-old from Parkway. Lucy Price is in lane number 5. She's a 16-year-old from Parkway. And then Carly Shafer, the 15-year-old from Parkway. The 2 at the top of the screen, very good friends. Their mothers volunteering throughout this weekend. Of course, Lucy's mom, Ruth, she is the meet director putting all this on. And then Katie Shafer, she is running the scoreboard for us. So all that work being done by the Parkway parents, those two in particular, doing a great job. We want to mention them. Of course, we'll see. We saw Lucy's younger brother and sister, Libby and Henry, compete this morning, and then Colin Shafer, Carly's younger brother, will be here this afternoon as well. But all good swimmers here. This is anybody's event. And this one, previous best time coming in to this heat, 2:17.54. That was Shattuck. She's in lane number 3. Right now, Price in lane number 5, slightly ahead of her, maybe about a half a body length as they come right across our camera angle here in the middle of the pool. Both looking very strong as they approach 150. And we'll start to look at some of those time cuts for these young ladies. You want to be around that 210 mark to get that sectional cut, or maybe it's around the 216 mark. I don't have the sectional sheet in front of me. I'm going to try and fish it out. I didn't do that prior to the meet, so if we get a little break, I'll try and grab those times. But nonetheless, Lucy Price starting to pull away here a little bit in lane number 5, looking very strong. She's got about a body length and a half lead over Shattuck. Down at the bottom of your screen, you see Green, then Seitz, and top of your screen, Shafer. That's how we're rounding things out. Good touch by Price, 2:21.21. So she's 3 seconds faster than her previous best time. She'll win the event. Congratulations to Lucy. Coming in second would be Brooke Shattuck, followed by Green, then Seitz and Shafer. Good drops across the board for a number of those young ladies as we round out the first event. Now we're going to go to event number 12 on your sheet. We've got 4 competitors in this one, lanes 2 through 5. It's Joe Cunningham in lane 2, Jaden Elgin in lane 3, Harry Pendleton in 4, and Matthew Sheridan in 5. All 4 are Parkway swimmers. The outside 2, Cunningham and Sheridan, are 15 and 14 respectively, and the 2 middle swimmers in lanes 3 and 4 are 13. No previously established time in long course for these 4 youngsters. So they're looking just to do their best. Now, there will be 4 heats for the boys here of this one, and then from this we'll go into that 100-meter breaststroke. First one to the wall on this first split, lane number 2. Good swim for him is Joe Cunningham. Right in behind him, up in lane number 5, Sheridan, as they round things out with Pendleton and then Elgin. Sheridan now looking to pass Cunningham if he can before they get to the wall. They're pretty close to even now with a full lap to go. And Sheridan will be, just out, Cunningham just out-touched him by 13 1/100ths of a second. And now Cunningham pulling away a little bit, had a little stronger underwater after that turn off the wall. So you see them here as they come down towards the right side of the pool. Now Cunningham's lengthened it out just a little bit. Sheridan, though, still solidly in second place here in this heat, followed by Pendleton, then Elgin. Now, the next heat, if you're just joining us, they'll start from the right side of your screen. We will not have the official times with me. I won't be able to see them. So if you've got a stopwatch, when you hear the referee blow that whistle and then the buzzer go off, start that stopwatch right there. You know, it's kind of, this is interactive. This is interactive YouTube video viewing. Enjoy it. As we get set to go here now, we'll start things off as the final 2 swimmers come in, or the next 2 swimmers come in, and as the final swimmer gets a little over halfway through the pool, they'll go with the next heat. They're off. No one in lane number 4 for this particular heat, so it's Gavin Joyner in lane number 1. It's Emmon Shank in lane number 2. Ryan George in lane 3. Jamison Samples in 4, and Tyler Richter is in lane number 6. All 13-year-olds except for Richter is a 14-year-old. Joyner and Richter do not have previously established times, yet they're on the outside. And the fastest prelim time, or the fastest previous time, goes to Ryan George at 2:43.68. So pretty good time for him. Folks, spread the word. Get people out there logging in. Tell them to check us out here on the Parkway Network. Again, coming at you with this wide angle, trying to describe the action as best we can. A couple of swimmers have taken a little bit of a lead in lane number 5 from Saluki. That's Jamison Samples. He came in with a 3:57.59. We'll see how that works out for him as he continues to lead very slightly. Down at the bottom of your screen, though, in lane number 2, looking very, very strong, as well as Emmett Shank. We saw his younger brother and sister swimming earlier today. I think we'll see his older brother in the next heat. We will. Callan will be in lane number 6. Well, we'll give a shout out to Matthew Judkins. He's at home today, still recovering from a broken wrist and unable to swim. He'd love to be here at the meet, but shout out to him as he watches, hopefully from his patio, with a nice cool lemonade or a energy drink, as the youngsters want to have in this day and age. All right, here we go. Coming down to the end of it right now. Lane number 2, it's Shank. He looks very, very strong right now, folks, as does Samples in lane number 5. It's going to be a battle towards the end. Shank slightly ahead of Samples now. We're going to come down, folks, inside the flags. Who's going to be the first one into the wall? Let's see who out-touches the other one. We won't be able to get the official time, and it's going to be, well, it's very close. I think Shank might have got him. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we'll get the official time here next time around. Third place in that heat up in lane number 6 was Richter. Coming in now in lane number 3 is George, and Joyner will round things out in lane number 1 as he comes just across halfway mark at the pool at the bottom of your screen there. You see him. And now we'll fire it up for the third heat in this one. Lane number 1 will be Colin Shafer. C-Money coming in with a 2:32.27. His good buddy Vincent Hager in lane number 2 had a chance to talk to his mom. She's also volunteering here, working the other side of the scoreboard. Carson Patton's in lane number 3, the 13-year-old from Saluki. Will Cottle's in lane 4, 15-year-old from Parkway. David Nyer in lane number 5, and Patrick Long in lane number 6, the 15-year-old for Parkway. Anybody's race at this point. Fastest prelim time coming into this one was Patton, 2:23.67. And right now in lane number 3, it is Patton, the Saluki. He'll be the first one into the wall along with Shafer. Got a note from Scott Shafer earlier today talking a little bit about swimming. And, of course, these kids compete so hard and so long in that short course. They get all geared up for it. And we saw Colin. His times were dropping, lots of triple A's. He's headed for the zones meet later in the summer. But making that adjustment can be awfully difficult. You gear yourself up for the turns and the starts and the underwaters. Then you go to the long course where so much of it is really about how are you doing on top of the water? How's your form? How's your technique? Well, right now, the two swimmers in lanes number 1 and 2, those are the good buddies, Shafer and Hager, and they're doing battle right now, a couple of 14-year-olds. Colin maybe with a fingertips length lead as they cross the middle of the pool. It's going to come down to it, folks. You know, when you got good buddies and you're out there able to compete with each other day in and day out in practice and then really go out and get it in these meets, that's something special. And right now they're going to flip just a few hundredths of a second differentiated, but a nice underwater for Shafer. Now he looks to pull away a little bit. Hager's not going to let him out of his sights, though. This is going to be a good one, folks. It's going to come right down to it. Half the pool remaining now, 25 meters. Who's got some juice left? Shafer looks to be a little bit stronger, but we'll see if Hager can pull it back out. And Vincent looking strong now. Mothers on opposites end of the pool. They're cheering their two young sons on. Here we go. Inside the flags. Shafer just slightly ahead of Hager, and it's going to be Shafer coming in at 2:15.64, 2:15.99. What times for those two youngsters. Great times for those two. Congratulations to them on a great race. Rounding things out in that one, it was Cottle, then Patton, then Nair, and Wong. So great job there. Now we've got even faster heats. We won't have the official times on these, but Ryan Lipsky will start in lane number 1. Quinn Wolfe, we know how fast Quinn can be, especially in the sprints. He's in lane number 2. Eli Sungbold, he's in lane number 3. We saw his younger brother this morning competing very hard. William Jost, maybe one of the top, most improved swimmers. We've really watched his times decrease significantly over the last really 9 months. He is really coming to his own. The 14-year-old from Parkway, he's in lane number 4, comes in 2:13.97. Willem Huggins, he's always in the mix, no matter where he's at, and he has been for the last 5 years. The 15-year-old from Saluki. And then rounding things out in lane number 6, Callum Shank, very good distance swimmer. He's a good back-end swimmer as well. Look for him to make a move late in this one. Well, here's Quinn Wolfe right now, a little bit ahead of everybody else. Of course, Quinn also playing water polo, Parkway Central High School, and very good at that. We've watched his times in the 50 and 100 free, as good as anyone here in the Midwest. And right now, he'd love to get that 200 freestyle crown. And we think Sunbold and Jost are going to have something to say about it, as is Huggins. Right now, it looks like it's Wolfe, then Huggins, then Sungbold, then Jost. Quinn Wolfe looking very strong now as they come across half pool. He's got about a half a body length lead. Coming on strong, though, in lane number 3. Right in behind him is Springbold. Springbold, I think I call him Sunbold a minute ago, so my apologies. But nonetheless, Quinn Wolfe trying to hold them off. Springbold trying to take it at the end. It's going to be Quinn Wolfe into the wall. Second one in. Coming up in lane number 5 is Huggins, followed by Springbold. Then it's Jost. Rounding things out, lane number 6 will be Shank, and then Lipsky. Nice event for them all the way around. Great race. Quinn Wolfe will win that one. Good job to him, and great fun watching that one. Again, I don't have the official times on those, but nonetheless, it was great swimming all the way around for those youngsters. And going back to Shafer and Hager in the previous event, they were both well under that A time and just off of the double A time at 2:14.79. So that's how we round out a very exciting 200 freestyle. Now, let's bump on. Let's move on to that 100-meter breaststroke. And right now, we've got 2 young ladies in the pool. They're coming out of lanes number 2 and 3. It'll be Athena DeKinder in lane number 1, and Julia Egelhoff. Saw her mother, said hello to her just prior to this. She's down there on the pool deck timing as well. So Athena is a 14-year-old for Parkway in lane 2. Julia, 13-year-old for Parkway in lane number 3. Give us a shout out now. Matt on the mic. That's my Twitter handle, Matt on the mic 1. Let us know you're out there. Let us know you're listening. Give us a shout out for the swimmer that you want to talk about. What we found over the years is those swimmers who get a little bit of love, they tend to go a little bit faster. We haven't figured out scientifically why that happens, but they just channel that vibe. So moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, give us some shout outs. I got a couple things on the text line. Good heat now on this 100. It's the Kinder. She's got about a 2 body length lead over Egelhoff. Both of these young ladies trying to get their first ever time here. As they come down to the wall here, they've started the next heat. That's the second heat. And we have 4 competitors in this particular heat. No one in lanes 1 and 3. It'll be Kate Morgan in lane 2, Cora Donaldson in lane 4, Anissa Rahmani in lane 5, and Eleanor Disper in lane number 6. Disper was very fast earlier. All these young ladies were. Actually, right now, Disper is taking a little bit of an early lead up there in lane number 6. Times for DeKinder, 153.45, 201.41 for Egelhoff. So congratulations to those young ladies getting their first ever long course times in that 100-meter breaststroke. This is not an easy stroke, folks. You take the fact that you technically have to learn the breaststroke, so all the moving parts that go into that. Then you've got to figure out how to do it consistently, and then you've got to do it with speed. And I will tell you, for swimmers even at the highest level, sometimes the breaststroke is hard for them to come by. And speaking from parental experience on that one with my son, it took him till he was 13, 14 years old. He still occasionally will get disqualified by doing a missed kick or something in this 100-meter and 200-meter breaststroke. So not an easy one for these young ladies. First one in the wall will be Disper. Second one in this heat will be lane number 4. That is Donaldson, followed by Ramani, and then Morgan will round things out as we get set now for the next heat. Jumping in the pool here, for heat number 3. From the left to the right side of the screen. No one in lane number 3 in this one. So it'll be Leela Bledsoe in lane number 1, Ellie Apollo in lane number 2, Agent Inman in lane number 4, Anna Hebner in 5, and Mia Crandall up in lane number 6. Well ahead of everybody else is Ellie Apollo. She's a 17-year-old from Saluki. 2:04.73 is her previous best time. She's going to shatter that, folks. I mean, she is really going to break that record. Crandall and Bledsoe do not have a previously established time in this one, so they're looking to get their first one ever. See a number of the Parkway swimmers wearing a bit of a different cap. Those are some of the swimmers that went to that International Swim Coaches Association meet in Florida. There was 2 of them. There was the senior group, and then there was the age group, 14 and unders. See Mia Crandall wearing that cap there in lane number 6. She's really starting to come into her own around the pool and getting those nice times. Heat number 3 here, it'll be Apollo with a 1:24.13. Great time for her. She drops 40 seconds off her previous best, so a while since she swam that one. Looks like second place in the heat come in will be Inman in 4 and Crandall in 6. Followed in lane number 1 by Bledsoe and then Hebner. Okay, so that's how we round that one out. I'm going to flip the page on our sheet here as we look to the young ladies going down to that side of the pool. It's Ava Stick in lane number 1. Cecilia Hoganson in lane number 2. Riley Fornash in lane number 3. Reagan Fries is in 4. Caroline Spores in lane number 5. And in lane number 6 is Abby Day as we start to come back down the other way. Out early here with the lead here in lane number 3, is Fornash. Let me see if I can say here a couple more times all in one breath. Second place right now, Reagan Fries in lane number 4, followed in behind her in lane number 2 by Hoganson. It'll be Spore in 5. Stick in lane number 1 and Day in lane number 6. So the winner of that heat, once again, will be Fornash, followed by Fries. She gets second place in the heat. Heat number 5 now. This will be our final heat of the ladies' 100-meter breaststroke. Waiting for all the swimmers to vacate the pool, I think, on this one. Got a little bit of a delay here, so they look over, officials look over to the starters. We got a couple shout outs on the line here. Go to Ryan George from Jeanette Vargo, and Michael Patton says thank you. And of course, we'll have a special birthday here in just a few moments that we'll get to announce as well. And then you can always hit me on Twitter. Matt on the mic 1. That's the Twitter handle for all those who love to chime in on these great swim meets. Got a couple earlier today. Slight delay now, probably sometimes these little technical difficulties. We had a few this morning, nothing that upset the apple cart too much though. We ran a little behind schedule, but for the most part we were on time. Now here we go. Let's line these young ladies out. We've got 6 in up on the blocks. Lacey Edwards in lane number 1 from Saluki. She's the 13-year-old. It's Mara Collins in lane number 2 from Parkway, the 17-year-old. Maddie Huggins, very fast from Saluki. She's the 18-year-old in lane 3. Brooke Shattuck, we know she can be fast as well in lane number 4. 15-year-old from Parkway with Lucy Ridings in lane number 5 for Parkway. And then Sammy Sylvester in lane number 6, the 13-year-old from Parkway. It looks like we've got definitely not Lucy Ridings up there. That's a Saluki in lane number 5. Lucy scratched out earlier, so I'm thinking she may not be here. But right now, lane number 3, we knew Huggins would go low, and she is right now. That split was well under 40. Her previous best time was 1:11:49. She is every bit of a top-notch swimmer right now. She's got an opportunity to get her personal best. I don't know what that sectional cut is, but I think she's already got it. And right now she's flying down the pool. 5 seconds to see if she can get under her personal best. Inside the flags, is she going to do it? Into the wall, and Huggins will touch at 1:13:13. Maddie Huggins with a very fast time, off her previous best time. We talked a moment ago about Shattuck, and she's going to come in second place in this one at 1:24:09 for Brooke. That's a little off her best time. And rounding things out, 1:30:86 in third place was Collins. Fourth place to Sylvester. Fifth place was to Edwards. And then the swimmer who we're not sure who that is in lane number 5 rounds things out. So congratulations to Maddie Huggins. Fast swim for her. Not her best, but very fast nonetheless. And she did quite well. Now here we go. Boys first heat. We will have 4 competitors in this one. It's Gavin Joyner in lane number 1, Joe Cunningham in lane number 2, Matthew Sheridan in lane number 4, and Jaden Elgin in lane number 5. Of course, Gavin's dad, John, working security for us here today. He's cheering on his son. This is his first time swimming this breaststroke. First time really competitively swimming in long course. His dad was telling me that he does compete in triathlons, and he is used to swimming, but not things like breaststroke or butterfly or backstroke for these longer courses. Fast time now right out of the chute, though, for Joe Cunningham. We saw him go low earlier, and he is trying to make his way right now. There will, again, be 3 heats of this one. And then we'll move on to the 100-meter backstroke. 6 heats for the young ladies, 3 for the young men. Front running here in this one. It's Cunningham in lane 3, followed in behind by in lane 4 by Sheridan, then Elgin and Gavin Joyner. And Cunningham will come in at 1:28 even. All right, here we go now. Next heat, we got 4 competitors in this one. No one in lane number 1 and no one in lane number 6. So it'll be Lucas Day in lane number 2. It'll be Colby Robick in lane number 3, Emmett Shank in lane number 4, and Tyler Richter in lane number 5. All 13 years old, excuse me, except for Richter is a 14-year-old, and he's leading the pack. I want to give a special shout out to Colby Robick. We got a couple of mentions for him. Today's his birthday. And I talked to his mother, Vicky, earlier today. Kind of down in the dumps because you age up from that 12-year-old where he was really, really swimming quite well. ISCA meet qualifier. Now he's got to move up to that next age group. Sometimes that could be a downer. We know what kind of competitor this young man is, and you're going to bet he's going to go out and give it his all. And right now, when you move up to that next age group, it's not about getting your double Bs right away. It's not about getting those triple As. It's about getting your best time, because now you're moving up in the ranks and competing with kids who sometimes really start maturing a lot earlier than you in that 13 to 14 jump. And we've seen that as parents throughout our swim career with our own kids. Front of the pack right now in this one, it's Richter and Shank. They're going neck and neck. Richter slightly ahead of Emmett. Kobe Robick will round things out in third place, followed by Day in lane number 2. So congratulations to those young men. Good swims for all of them. Now here we go with the final heat. Left to right, Patrick Wong is in lane number 1. It's Callum Shank in lane number 2, following right in behind his brother who was in the previous heat, Jack Favazza. We know Jack can be very fast. Or he's in 4th. We missed Maddox Thompson. We know Maddox can be extremely fast too. Fastest preliminary time at 109.79. And then Will Cottle, he's in lane 5. And Andy Assinger in lane number 6. Jack and Maddox, 109 and 113 respectively. 2 fastest in this previous event. Also looking in lane number 2 right now, Callum Shank, he's picking up the steam. He's giving Favazza a run for his money. I'm going to give a shout out to Mike Favazza as well. We know he suffered an injury on the ski slopes out in Colorado. Hopefully he's watching and doing better. See him back at the pool soon. It'll be Maddox Thompson just blazing away. 111.77 for him. We know he is a sectional level swimmer, and great time for him. Jack comes in at 118.56. Not his best time for sure. Third place in the heat, 119.56 for Shank. So he drops a second and a half. Rounding things out in that heat will be Assinger, followed by Cottle and Wong. So nice job to those young men. Maddox Thompson really came to play on that one. Now backstroke, folks. 2 in the pool here or actually 3 in the pool for the young ladies. It'll be Leela Bledsoe in lane 2. Anissa Rahmani in lane number 3, and Julia Egelhoff in lane number 4. These 3 swimmers, no previously established times for them as they dive in. Again, hit us up on that Twitter feed. Matt on the mic 1. We decided to get into the 21st century and start using Twitter for the swim meets, so check us out. 100-meter backstroke here. That's 2 lengths of the pool, just like we had with that breaststroke. Looks like Leela Bledsoe slightly ahead of Rahmani, and then Egelhoff will round things out. Bledsoe and Egelhoff, both 13. 14 years old is Rahmani. Again, 6 heats for these young ladies in this particular event. And then we will have 3 heats for the boys. Then we get to that very fast 100 freestyle. Now, we're going to start this next heat before this particular one finishes. If you've been with us, that's called a chase start. First one into the wall here for this one. Will be Bledsoe, followed by Rahmani, and then Egelhoff. Four competitors in this one. No one in lanes number 1 and 5. It'll be Sophie Cole in lane 2, Gabby Gastrich in 3, Anna Hebner in 4, and Mia Muckerman in lane number 6. Out of the chute, Mia Muckerman in lane number 6. She had no previously established time in that 200 freestyle, and she went well out ahead of everyone else. She's doing it in the backstroke right now. We've seen the quality of Mia over the years, and competes at a very high level. Again, zones competitor, sectional competitor right now. She's looking to make sure those times stay low. She'll be the first one into the wall here in this particular heat. Second place in the heat is Cole, followed by Gastrich, and then winding things out is Hebner, as they just have about a quarter of the pool left. Five competitors now moving from left to right on your computer screen. Nobody in lane number 5. It's Haley Crow in lane number 1 for Saluki. It's Abby Day in lane number 2. Athena DeKinder in lane number 3. Vienna Schindler in 4. And Kate Morgan in lane number 6. Several 13-year-olds in this one, including Crow from Saluki and the 2 Parkway competitors, Schindler and Morgan. 14 years old is DeKinder, and Day is a 15-year-old. As we watch them come down now to the right side of your screen. And they're going to go back to the middle of the pool, adjusting our camera here ever so slightly. Making sure that we keep that picture rolling for you. Lane number 4 right now, well out ahead of everyone else. This is Schindler. She's a 13-year-old from Parkway. Came in with a 139.50. She's trying to best that right now. She's well ahead of that pace. She may go under 130. She does. In fact, 125. Soft touch for her, but 125 and change for her as she comes into the wall. Nice drop for Schindler. 14 seconds. Second place in the heat will go to Morgan. Third in the heat to Crow, DeKinder, and then Day will round things out. Now, here we are in heat number 4, going from right to left. You see him just passing your camera right now. It is Caroline Spohr in lane number 1 and Riley Fornash in lane number 2. It's Jasmine Ankrum in lane number 3, Brooke Shattuck in lane number 4, Rizel Mendoza in lane number 5, and Adele Honnold in lane number 6. So we got a 13-year-old from Saluki and Ankrum, a 14-year-old from Parkway and Spohr, a couple of 15-year-olds in Shattuck and Honnold from Parkway and Saluki respectively, and then the 2 17-year-olds from Parkway, Fornash and Mendoza. Middle of the pool, that's really where the action's at. Lane number 4, Shattuck, followed by Ankrum, then Fornash. Actually, it looks like Fornash is going to out-touch Ankrum. She does. As those 3 come in, it'll be again Shattuck, Fornash, Ankrum. We got a battle now for the next 2 slots up in lanes number 5 and 6. It's Mendoza and Honnold. It looks like it will be Honnold just out-touching Mendoza, and then down in lane number 1, Spohr. Now, left to right on your computer screen, lane number 5, it's Maura Collins in lane 1. Excuse me, heat number 5, Maura Collins in lane 1. Ellie Bailey in lane 2. In lane number 3 is Reagan Fries. Lane number 4, Avery Smith, middle of the pool. Audrey Wagner right there with her in lane number 5. And Jenna Ridings up top of your screen in lane number 6, the 13-year-old. So 13 years old for Ridings. 14 apiece for Fries and Wagner. 17-year-olds are Collins and Smith, and then Bailey is an 18-year-old. Avery Smith, middle of the pool. She was the first into the wall, followed closely behind by Fries and then Wagner. Looks like that's who's going to do battle now for first place in the heat. Fries now pulling away ever so slightly. She's got a little bit of speed. She gets up on top of the water. She passes Smith. She's starting to break away a little bit, folks. Reagan Fries now stretching it out a little bit. Almost a full body length lead as she comes down towards the flag. And Reagan Fries is going to take this heat. Avery Smith right now, she's trying to hold off Audrey Wagner. They're in lanes 4 and 5. Who's going to be the next one to touch as Fries goes in first place on that heat at 1:16.25. The next one in is Smith, followed by Wagner. So the 1:16.25 for Reagan Fries. 0.3 of a second faster than her previous heat. Or 3 seconds faster than her previous. And a great time for her. Then Smith, as we talk about, Wagner, Collins, then Ridings, and Bailey. Lots of drops there in that one across the board. So Congratulations to all of those youngsters. Smith with the best time. Wagner with the best time. As we come back down the other way for our final heat, it's Maddie Lang in lane number 1. Carly Shafer's in lane number 2. Right now ahead of the pack is Sophie Wallace in lane number 3. Lane number 4 is Sights Green is in lane number 5, and Lucy Price. Lucy Price now is just briefly taking the lead in lane number 6. It's going to be into the wall first. Will be Sophie Wallace, followed by Price. Then it's Shafer, followed in lane number 4 by Sights Green, and then Maddie Lang rounding things out. So great swims for all of those youngsters. Well, there's no rest for the weary, folks. We're going to go right back to it because guess what? The young men have just dropped in. I'm going to take a quick break and let this breathe for a minute so I don't choke. All right, we're back at it now. It's heat number 1. Gavin Joyner's in lane number 2. Jamison Samples is in lane number 3, and he is well out ahead of everyone. The 13-year-old from Saluki, he came in with a 1:59.08. Patrick Wong is in lane number 4 from Parkway, and then Matthew Sheridan, top of your screen, in lane number 5. But right now, with that previously established 1:59.08 is Jamison Samples, the 13-year-old from Saluki. He's going to shatter that, folks. He may beat that by a half a second. We'll see. He's got half of the pool left to go. Good pace for him. Well on top of the water. Looks just very smooth. He's not laboring at all. We've got a great race going for second place in this heat between Wong and Sheridan. As Samples comes into the wall, and he's going to have a great time. 1:15.03. Top of your screen now. Next one into the wall will be Wong, followed by Sheridan. And then rounding things out will be Gavin Joyner. Heat number 2. No one in lane number 4, so it will be Pendleton and Harry Pendleton in lane number 1, Will Cottle in lane number 2, David Nyer in lane number 3. He can be fast in this event. Right now, he's got a slight lead. Lucas Day is in lane 5, and Tyler Richter is in lane number 6. Right now, it looks like it's going to be lanes number 2 and 3. Cottle and Nyer doing battle. Both of them very strong in this event. Will Cottle, first one into the wall. Although his turn was a little slow and a nice underwater for him, gives him the lead. As Nyer actually might have slightly out-touched him at the wall. Third place in this heat. Down at the bottom of your screen is Pendleton, followed by Richter, then Day. Fastest time coming in, 1:24 flat from David Nyer, the 13-year-old from Parkway. But right now, Will Cottle is slightly ahead of him. However, there's a long way to go here, 15 meters or so. Let's see if somebody tries to kick it up into the wall. Let's see who the first one in is going to be, and it will be Cottle, followed by Nyer. Now we've got a battle for third place. Bottom of your screen, it's Pendleton. Richter at the top of your screen. Let's see who'll be the first one into the wall on this one. And it will be lane number 1, Pendleton, followed by Richter, then Day. Final heat now. 6 full here. Eli Springbold in lane number 1 from Saluki, the 15-year-old. Ryan Lipsky in lane number 2 from Parkway. It's Willem Huggins in lane number 3. He is well out ahead of everyone else, and we know the quality of Willem. We saw it earlier. Carson Patton's in lane number 4. William Jost is in lane number 5, and Callum Shank in lane number 6. Willem Huggins now well ahead of everyone else, 1:04.37. He is ahead of that pace right now. Can he beat it, though? Half the pool to go. He looks very smooth on top of the water. Not a lot of extra effort. I don't think he's going to beat his 1:04. We'll see. Huggins into the wall at 1:06 flat. 1:06.00 for him. Good time nonetheless. Coming in second place in the heat is Springbold, then Patton, followed by Shank, then Jost, and Lipsky. Well, folks, here's the one we've been waiting for. This is the fun one. This is the 50 free. These are going to go very fast. We've got 8 heats for the girls and 4 heats for the boys. I'm going to tell you right now, after Huggins just really did well in that one. He also won a previous event. He's going to be gearing up for his third of the day, but we got a very special one for that. William Jost always going to be going for that one. He comes in with the fastest time, as does Quinn Wolfe. Quinn Wolfe could easily pop in and beat everyone. All right, now all of these 50s will start at the right side of your screen. It's just one length of the pool. This is a straight sprint, folks. Fastest ladies in the pool here for this one. Let's tee it up here. No one in lane number 1 for the first heat, so it'll be Anna Hebner in lane number 2, Gabby Gastrich in lane number 3. It'll be Cece Tremont in lane 4, Julia Egelhoff in lane number 5, and Sophie Cole in lane number 6. No previously established times for any of these young ladies. Nice underwater up there in lane number 4 for Tremont, the 13-year-old. Well, that underwater propelled her, and she's really looking to go low here, folks. 13 years old here in this 50 freestyle. Let's see what she's going to hit at. Can she go under 30? She might just do it. She's at 30.52. Oh, just off of the double A time at 30.49. What a time for her. First time getting an establishment there. Second place in the heat at 35 flat goes to Cole. Third place in the heat goes to Gastrich, followed by Egelhoff and then Hebner. Great times across the board. Everybody under 40. But what a time just off of that double A by just fractions of a second for Tremont. Next one now. Full slate. Nope. Nobody in lane number 5 on this one. So it'll be Haley Crow in lane 1, Agent Inman in lane 2, Athena DeKinder in 3, Razel Mendoza in lane number 4, and Kate Morgan in lane number 6. Fastest preliminary time coming into this one was DeKinder at 37.59. Right now, slightly ahead of everyone else is Inman in lane number 2. She's from Saluki. She's a 14-year-old. Lane number 6 is Morgan. She's in second place. Slightly now she's taking a lead. Morgan now trying to pull it off, coming down. 48.52 is her previous best. She's going to beat that, but it will be at the wall. Inman with a 34.92. Nice drop for her. 35.62, another good drop. Crow gets third place. Fourth place to DeKinder, and Mendoza at 40.25 comes in fifth place in the heat. All right, next heat now. Caroline Spores in lane number 1. We got a full slate, 6 swimmers. It's Abby Day in lane number 2, Ava Stick in lane number 3, Cecilia Hoganson in 4, Emma Eisworth in 5, and Adele Honold in lane number 6. 35.73 from Stick in lane number 3 is the fastest prelim time. But right now, lane number 4, it's Hoganson from Parkway, the 13-year-old. She's got a very fast swim so far. She's about 2/3 of a body length ahead of her next competitor, which is Eisworth in lane number 5. Eisworth is closing the gap, but it's going to be Hoganson in lane number 4. 31.69 for her. 5-second drop in that one. Coming in behind her is Eisworth, followed by Stick. Then Day, Spore, and Honold. Now, next heat. No swimmer in lane number 1. It's Audrey Wagner in lane number 2. It's Riley Fornash in lane number 3. Cora Donaldson in 4. Ava Assinger in lane number 5. And Mia Crandall in 6. And right now in lane number 2, it's Audrey Wagner. She's trying to separate herself, but they're not going to go away. It's Fornash and Donaldson right in her hip pocket. But it's Audrey Wagner right now trying to hold them off. Here comes Fornash in lane number 3. This one's going to come right down to it, folks. Fastest time coming in was Fornash at 33.61. First one into the wall. It's going to be Wagner will touch. 31.36. What a time for Audrey. She drops almost 3 seconds. Great time for her. Second place in the heat goes to Fornash. Third place goes to Donaldson. And then Assinger and Crandall rounding things out. No swimmer in lane number 2 here in the next heat. It'll be Vienna Schindler in lane number 1. It'll be Maddie Lang in 3, Lucy Edwards in 4, Brooke Shattuck in 5, and Jasmine Ankrum in lane number 6. Fastest prelim time coming in was Lang at 32.06. So Lang in lane number 3. She is just behind the front runner Ankrum in lane number 6. Coming on strong in lane number 1 right now is Schindler. Let's see who's got the last kick here to try and get in. Also in lane number 5 right there with him is Shattuck. First one into the wall right now, so a little ahead of everyone else. It looks like it's going to be Ankrum. It will be Ankrum. followed by Lang, then Shattuck, Schindler, and then Edwards rounds things out 31-90. Still a little off the pace from Wagner and Hoganson. Now, heat number 6. 6 competitors in. It's Sylvester in lane 1, Shafer in lane number 2, Green in 3, Bailey in 4, Ludbrook in 5, and Lucy Price in lane number 6. Lucy Price right now, a little bit of a lead. Lucy more of a distance swimmer, she'll tell you herself, but right now she looks very fast. 31.96 coming in. She's ahead of that pace right now, folks. She's leading the pack is Lucy Price, top of your screen. Carly Shafer right in behind her. First one into the wall. It's going to be Price. 30.88, followed in behind by Sylvester, then Ludbrook, Shafer, Green, and Bailey. So Lucy Price will take that one with a nice drop of over a second, excuse me. Dropping a second and a 50 is quite a feat, folks. Full house, 6 swimmers here in heat number 7. Avery Smith is in lane number 1. It's Ellie Apollo in lane number 2. Sophie Wallace in 3, Maddie Huggins in 4. Libby Seitz in 5, and Reagan Fries in 6. Look to the middle of the pool right now with Apollo, Wallace, and Huggins all coming in. Wallace with a 27.56 in lane number 3 was the previous best, but Huggins, we've seen her quality so far here today. She's right there with her. It's going to come right down to it. It's Wallace and Huggins. First one into the wall, and it's going to be Wallace, 29.14, followed by Huggins at 29.57. Or actually, it was Oplo at 29.38. And then in behind her was Huggins. Rounding things out was Smith, followed by Seitz and Fries. All right, last heat. Well, we've got 3 competitors labeled here, but these are the no times. And Meter Muckerman is in lane number 3. She might very well win the overall event. Disper's in lane 4. Not sure who that is in lane number 5, but Muckerman could win this, folks. She's got to go under 29. Can she do it? Right now, she's ahead of that pace. Mia Muckerman in lane number 3. Does she have the juice to get into the wall? 28. Can she get under 29? And it will be 30-25 for Mia Muckerman. I believe that's going to be just off of the pace, but a great swim for her. She came in with no previous time. 32-39 for Disper. Not sure who that was in lane number 5, but great times for them. Fast swims all the way around. All right, the boys now got 4 heats here, this one. First one into the water here on this one. We try to get our camera back on here, folks. There we go. Had a little technical difficulty there, but it's Matthew Sheridan in lane 1. Lane 2 is Gavin Joyner. It's Jamison Samples in lane 3. Jaden Elgin is not in the meet. There's nobody in lane 4. It's Andy Assinger in 5 and Joe Cunningham in 6. First one into the wall will be Assinger. Good time for him. 29-41. Great established first time. Second place is Cunningham, followed by Sheridan, then Samples and Joyner. Samples' previous best time was 47-24. He shatters that. So we get set now for the next heat. Little technical delay here. It'll be Tyler Richter in lane number 1, Colin Shafer in lane number 2, Noah Hoffman in lane number 3, Lucas Day in 4, Colby Robick in 5, and Harry Pendleton in 6. Now, we're sorry about that picture issue we had just a moment ago, folks, but nonetheless, we're back on. Looks like we got some swimmers out of place here. Let's sort that out. We're going to slot somebody different into lane number 3. So it will not be Noah Hoffman. Last minute change here. They still sort through a few things at the scorers table. Well, we got more action for tomorrow. It's going to be earlier in the morning. We're going to bring you the morning session. I'll be with you throughout the morning. I will not be here for the distance events tomorrow afternoon, but we'll be on the air before 8 a.m. right here from the Chuck Fruit Aquatic Center in Edwardsville as these youngsters really start to get into this short course season, or long course season, getting away from the short course season. So we get another bit of a delay here. Officials are talking to a number of the swimmers down there and making sure they're all set to go. So we've got just a little bit of a pause in the action. Well, we hope you've enjoyed it so far. Remember, like, share, do all that. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We want to keep getting those listener numbers up. Got a nice shout out from Mike Ridings and talking about our camera angle, and I would agree it's not optimal to have a one camera long course camera. It's what we have today in order to bring the action. We'll try and get that. Of course, now I think everybody's starting to understand what it means to have Kevin Girth here with his multiple camera angles and whatnot. He is not with us today. Okay, here we go now, folks. Tyler Richter in lane number 1. Colin Shafer's in lane number 2. We're not sure who is in lane number 3. It's Lucas Day in 4. It's the birthday boy, Colby Robick, in lane number 5, and no one in lane number 6. C Money in lane number 2, though. He is right ahead of everybody else. His previous best time for Colin was 34:29. He'll go way under that here in this previous, or from his previous event. He's going to beat it by over 5 seconds at 29:19. Colin Shafer, 5 seconds better than his previous best time. 6 full here in the second last heat. Vincent Hager's in lane number 1. It's Carson Patton in lane number 2. Maddox Thompson in lane number 3. He can go very low. Patrick Wong in lane number 4. David Nyer in lane number 5. And Ryan George in lane number 6. Let's see who's going to take this one. Look for Hager and Thompson. Nyer also very good at the 50. Right now it is Thompson in lane number 3. He came in with the previous best of 29:23. Shafer just beat that with a 29:19. Not sure what the time's going to be here in this one. It's not registering up on the scoreboard, so nonetheless it will be Maddox Thompson first place. Second place in that heat in lane number 2 was Patton, was Patton and Wong in lane number 4. Now we got to get the scoreboard working because this is something very important. Yeah, they're still rolling. They got to get the scoreboard. The scoreboard's still rolling. Now they're starting them. It's Ryan Lipsky in lane number 1, Quinn Wolfe in lane number 2, William Jost in lane number 3, Willem Huggins in lane number 4, Jack Favaz in lane 5, Eli Springbold in lane number 6. This is going to be a battle, folks. Watch out and see if Wolfe, Jost, and Huggins all don't go low. Jost is going for a 42-year-old Parkway record here in this one. He is 8/100ths of a second off of it just a couple of weeks ago. He needs to go 25:28 to beat the record, 25:29 to tie the record. William Jost into the wall. Does he got the record? And he's going to be just off of it again. 29:98 in his last attempt to beat that 42-year-old record from the Olympian Tom Jaeger. He needed a 25:29 to tie. He came in with a swim of 25:37 a couple of weeks ago, and the 14-year-old will win the event with a 29:98. What a swim for him. Second place goes to Wolfe in that event. Third place in the heat goes to Huggins. Exciting race all the way around. It was Favaza, Springbold, and then Lipsky. But William Jost had a chance to talk to his mother earlier today, and she said he came back to try for it one last time before he turns 15. And of course, we know what kind of athlete young William is. I had the great opportunity of coaching him in baseball, and of course he's a big basketball player as well. And right now he just showed his quality, folks. What a swim for him, just off of that Parkway record. Now he'll get to go join the the older kids and the 15 and overs here as he'll turn 15. But nice swim for him. Now here we are in the 200-meter butterfly. We've got a long time. Let's sit back and let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about who's in this event. First of all, it's Jenna Riding. She's in lane number 1, the 13-year-old from Parkway. No previously established time for her. Next to her is Addie Ludbrook in lane number 3. Parkway 15-year-old, 2:51.69. It's Agent Inman from Parkway in lane number 4 from Saluki, excuse me, Agent is 3:40.23, and then Ava Assinger in lane number 5. No previously established time for her, but this might be as hard of an event is there in terms of the taxing on the body that it takes. Maybe the 400 IM a little harder. Some might argue the 200 back or the 200 breast. From what I've seen over the years of observing swimmers, this 200 fly is grueling. So just kudos to these young ladies at 13, 14, 15, and 16 for getting through it. Special event also for my son. We gave him a shout out. Of course, he went to the sectional meet with a cast on his hand, and he was able to qualify into the C final, which was quite a feat in its own right, besting over almost 50 competitors in this particular event in that sectional. Finished in the top 32, so great job for him, and that just tells you what it takes, so the strength for this one. First one into the wall, lane number 3 is Ludbrook. Expect she will probably be the winner in this one. Addie very adept at this particular event. Jenna Riding's riding behind her, though just 13 years old. As she touches the wall, she'll go back for the second half. Or the last 50, excuse me, as they come down to it. Addie's previous best time was 2:51.69. She's going to shatter that. Jenna Riding's trying to get her first established time on this one. And again, this 200-meter fly, very tough. (2:46.65). Nice time for Addie. 5 seconds off her previous best. Jenna Riding's going to get a B time right out of the chute for her efforts at 3:06.55. Good job for her, first time getting that event under her belt, and she drops right in and gets a B time. So congratulations to her. Just 13 years old, a lot of room to grow over the next year plus for her. That's the type of event we might see her compete at the zones meet in. First one into the wall, or third one into the wall, excuse me, is Inman, followed by Assinger in lane number 4. So congratulations to those young ladies. 2 more heats left. We'll go over to the boys now. It's Andy Assinger. He'll follow his sister, lane number 2. Callum Shank is in lane number 3 in the birthday boy, Colby Robick. We've seen him do this a number of times. He just ages up into 13 ranks. Seen him swim some of these events. No previous established time for a lot of these for any of these youngsters in this one. So we'll watch them go. Here as they move to the right side. First one into the wall. Lane 3 is Shank. 15 years old, Callum. Webster Groves High School. Competed at the state high school meet this last fall. And of course, he'll be gearing up to go right back there again. 2021 fall season. Assinger riding behind him, and then the birthday boy, Colby Robick, in lane 5. 2 full lengths of the pool on this one, folks. Two full laps. 4 full lengths of the pool, I should say. Got that wrong there, so my apologies. Hit me on that Twitter feed. Matt on the mic 1. Got a couple of tweets earlier today in the youngsters session. Shank looking strong right now in lane number 3. Sometimes when you don't have an established time in an event like this one, it's about guts and heart. And that's what these 3 young men are showing right now as they try and work their way through getting an established time in this 200-meter butterfly. Difference between this one and the short course, too, is I wouldn't say get a rest, but those pushes off the wall really help in an event like this one. And you only have 3 pushes instead of 7. We'll get set to go here on this final heat in just a moment. Shank will come to the wall nicely. Assinger will come in second place here, and then Robick, but Robick starting to close the gap. And they're off here in our final heat. No one in lane number 3. So Quinn Wolfe opting out of this particular event. It'll be Emmett Shank in lane number 1. Jack Favazza's in 2. Maddox Thompson in 3. Maddox Thompson's in 4. Colin Shafer in 5. And Vincent Hager in 6. Well, let's see. Between those 3 14-year-olds, who's going to do battle here? Of course, Jack Favazza, very strong swimmer. He's in lane number 2. But between Thompson, Shafer, and Hager, all know each other, all competitive. And right now, Thompson's slight lead, about 2/3 of a body length lead over Shafer and Hager, and then Favazza coming in right in behind them. Emmett Shank, bottom of your screen, in lane number 1, the 13-year-old. Just saw his brother Callum a moment ago. Thompson's previous best, 2:53.67. Favazza's 3 minutes, 0.13. Thompson looking strong now, though. He'll touch the wall at 1:51. Previous best time was 2:49.27. He's got a good rhythm going right now. Middle of the pool, up, over, down. Keep it nice and streamlined across the water. His time right now, he should go well under that previous best of 2:49.27 in the previous heat. His previous best personally was 2:53.67. He's going to beat that by a large margin. How do I know this? I'm timing this on my own. He'll come into the wall here and touch in 2:32.54. Next one in. I think I got them all, folks. Next one in, second place in that heat. Shafer. Just a little bit behind, but 7 seconds, and then less than a second, Favazza, followed by Hager and Shank. I believe that's how we'll round this one out. But, folks, that'll do it for us here. Winning that one, and that final event is Maddox Thompson in 2:43.74. Congratulations to him as he wraps things up here for day number 1 of this Parkway Long Course Classic. My name is Matt Judkins. I hope you've enjoyed all the action here today. Remember to join us now tomorrow morning. We're going to bring you first the youngsters, the 12 and unders, and then immediately followed there by the 13 and overs. But we've had a great time here this afternoon and this morning. Until then, so long. Have a great evening.